Yo, what's going on? Jay-Z denouncing Diddy? Huh? Jay-Z is denouncing Diddy. I thought it was harmony like Bone and Biggie. Listen, Poe and Ponder, and comment, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you know when I do uploads. Listen, I want to read this article from NBC. So I feel as though that Jay-Z's lawyer is trying to separate Jay-Z from Diddy. You know, he's saying that, you know, there's no bond there and all of this and all of that. You know, Diddy is currently at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where they probably got drones flying all crazy around there because you know what's going on in New York and New Jersey right now. But anyway, let's talk about this, right? So Jay-Z's lawyer says that he expects the rapper to soon be cleared from this intimate assault lawsuit, right? And I'm telling y'all, the reason why Jay-Z's lawyer keeps making all of these statements and there's constantly something every day, because each and every aching day that this goes on and there's no any type of resolve, it could potentially ruin business relationships. So let's get into this article, right? All right. So Jay-Z's lawyer expects that the hip hop mogul, whose real name is Sean Carter, to be soon cleared, right? To be cleared from a lawsuit that accuses him and Diddy of intimately assaulting a minor at the 2000 VMA after party. All right. So Carter's lawyer, Alex Shapiro, told NBC in an exclusive on-camera interview, they had some sort of roundtable meeting in New York today, that his client isn't going to get shaken down, meaning that they ain't getting no money. You know what I'm saying? After he was accused in a civil lawsuit last week of intimately assaulting the 13-year-old girl at the MTV after party that took place over 2 decades ago. All right, this case is going to be dismissed, and Mr. Carter's name will be fully cleared and exonerated. Right? So Spiro told. All right, and so the anonymous accuser, identified as Jane Doe, alleged that Mr. Carter removed her clothes, held her down, and intimately assaulted her while Combs and another unidentified female celebrity watched on. She said Combs also intimately assaulted her while Carter and the woman, you know, looked on to what was happening. Then she said she punched him in his face and she ran to the nearest gas station. And you remember the woman's dad came out. She did that interview the other day, and the dad came out and said that he doesn't recall that. So on Monday, Alex Spiro distanced Carter from Combs. This is where, listen, he distanced Carter from Combs, who faces federal charges in New York of racketeering, SCX trafficking, and other offenses, right? Combs is behind bars in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after he was denied bail for the 3rd time. You know, they said Diddy is done with asking for bail at this point. Yeah, stop, sit there, sit up straight. Sit there. All right. So Diddy is due back in court for May 5th. And also, I believe that he has some sort of discovery court date this week as well. Right. And so listen what Alex Spiro said. Right. He said there is no friendship or long time bond here. There's no friendship or long time bond here. All right. Spiro said just because they know each other, that doesn't mean anything. And I want you to think about this. How many of y'all CNAs, and you throwing shade on your favorite nurse's aide? How many of y'all CNAs or working customer service or whatever type of job you have? You have colleagues. You taking lunch with these people. What if you going down taking lunch with a person? You don't know if they beating on their wife. Just because they beating on their wife and they at lunch, you might not know that part about them, right? I just think that we need to look at this objectively and stop. You know, just because they're both powerhouses in the game, and I'm pretty sure that you flicked up and had lunch with somebody or did something and you found that they did some egregious things after, and you like, damn, like I guess I didn't know them like that. All right. So he said just because they know each other doesn't mean anything. Carter has called the allegations idiotic and fought the claims in a lengthy statement. Y'all remember when Jay-Z said that these allegations are heinous in nature, that you should file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, the rapper said. Whomever would commit crimes against a minor should be locked away. Wouldn't you agree? You know, that was Jay-Z's initial statement in regards to this matter. And I heard a lot of people saying that, you know, the statute of limitations, whatever. But listen, put yourself in those shoes. And if somebody saying that you did some heinous crimes, you know, against a minor, wouldn't you say that too? Are you going to automatically think of the statute of limitations right there at that point? If somebody is saying the worst things about you, no, these are celebrities. Jay-Z is rich. They want money. Tony Busby wants money. Like, let's please stay with the program. All right. So Alex Spiro, who asked the judge to deny a request for Jane Doe to remain anonymous from the accuser, praised Carter for standing his ground It said that his team would continue to seek justice. All right. So Mr. Carter speaks for himself. He speaks from a position of strength because he's completely innocent and these claims are obviously false. Right. Spiro said, but it's upsetting. Nobody wants to hear these things. We expect Mr. Carter to be cleared in the next coming days. He added, he going to be cleared. Jigga is not guilty. He going to be cleared because I'm telling you, the whole interview that the woman that Jane Doe did with NBC, it was sloppy. It was messy, right? All right. So the lawyer remarks come after the accuser reveals some inconsistencies when she recounted the alleged attack from 24 years ago in an exclusive interview with NBC News. So amongst the inconsistencies, the woman said that her father picked her up after the alleged intimate assault, but he doesn't recall that at all, right? I think she's from Rochester. That's up further from where I'm from. I want you to think about it. I'm from Albany. That's about 2 hours from New York City. She's from Rochester. That's probably like 5 hours or more from New York City. You drove somebody, your friend drove you all the way down to Radio City Music Hall? That doesn't even make sense. What friend do you have that's dropping off a 13-year-old right there? It just don't make sense, right? So among the inconsistencies, we said that the father doesn't recall that. The woman also claims that she spoke to a celebrity at the after party where she was intimately assaulted. All right. But the celebrity said that they was not in New York at the time. I forgot what the name of the person, that they was on tour somewhere else, right? And images from the evening show Carter's and Combs in different locations from when the women described. So she put her foot in her mouth, right? Although their whereabouts for the entire evening are unclear. All right. The incident didn't happen, Carter told NBC News in another statement made on Friday, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press, he added. All right, referring to one of the woman's attorneys, Texas-based Tony Busby, who's a fraud. I know that. Listen, let me tell you something, right? I know a lot of y'all want this news about Jay-Z to be real, and it's like I know the reason, low key, for the undertones of some of the people, but you wouldn't want this. I don't want bad to happen to my worst enemy. I just want whatever will be, will be. That's how I look at situations. If I don't like you, I don't sit around and just wish bad on you. But listen, this whole thing is just erroneous. All right. So Texas, and then so he said, justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon he called the ambulance chaser. Okay, so in response to Spiro's latest comments, Busby said he encourages Spiro to do what he thinks is appropriate. And how do we know if Tony Busby set this interview up to make his client look dumb just so he could kind of like back out and get out of it? Because he knows that, come on, you're not going to win this. You're not going to win this. All right, so he said that the woman referred to his firm by another law. He said that the woman, Jane Doe, was referred to his law firm from another firm, which drafted the initial complaint. He said 4 people at his firm have been interviewed her and checked the details. He also said that the firm ran a background check on her and asked a seasoned investigator to vet some of the details disclosed to us. Well, obviously they didn't do that good of a job, All right, those results were consistent with what the client had told us, Busby said. All right. So on Friday, he said he's continuing to vet the accuser's claims. Our conduct has been beyond reproach, and will continue to be, Busby said. And so many people was online praising Tony Busby, saying that and even Jaguar Wright was trying to make it seem like she had some sort of affiliation with him, and he shot that down. Yup, sure did. Put it in the press. Said no, never for less. He said I'm not deal with that. All right. So Busby filed several lawsuits in recent months, all have withheld their complainant's name, and maybe that's his strategy, accusing Combs of assault and capital R word. This is the first suit in which he named another high-profile defendant, and I feel like when Tony Busby was speaking before, he said that there's another name out there. He was the one. He was trying to shake down Jay-Z at that point. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do if your son was at home, crying all alone on the bedroom floor cause he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money, and his daddy's gone. So man, smoking rock now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now. That was my shit. All right. So the woman acknowledged that the inconsistencies and said that she made some mistakes. All right. The recollections of the night in 2000, but she said that she stands by her allegations overall. The inconsistencies and her account of the incident do not necessarily mean the allegations are false. This is what Busby is saying. All right. You should always fight for what happened to you, the woman said, who is 38 years old now. You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what happened to somebody else ruin your life. I just hope that I can give others the strength to come forward like I came forward. The woman said that she was living in Rochester, New York. I'm telling you right now that that's questionable. You drove all the way from Rochester. That's Western New York. I live in upstate New York. She drew from Western. You think Rochester, you think Buffalo. Look at the distance from Rochester and Buffalo to New York City. Ain't no friend just hop in a whip and just dropped you off like that. Come on. The woman was living in Rochester in 2000 and was driven to the VMAs by a friend to fulfill her bucket list goal. You had a bucket list goal of 13 of being around grown men at the... Come on. I want y'all to question this. This is not about not believing the victim. All right. She did not have a ticket when she approached various limousine drivers to gain access to the show or an after party. One driver told her that he worked for Combs and that she fit the description of what they was looking for according to the lawsuit. She said that he invited her to a party, and after the show, she told her to return to the car and blah, blah, blah. We already read all of that, right? Later, the driver picked her up, the suit said, and after 20 minutes, they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. She said that she had to sign a document that she believed to be a non-disclosure agreement upon arrival and did not receive a copy to enter the party, which the suit says was filed and filled with celebrities and people using marijuana and cokeezy, right? You remember you didn't get a copy of the non-disclosure, but you didn't remember what year it was? Come on. Come on! I need you to turn that brain on of yours. She was offered a drink that made her feel woozy-ato, lightheaded, and then she needed to lie down. The lawsuit says she went into a room, and then that's when everything ensued, right? All right. So, yeah. Yeah. So, listen, this pretty much, Jay-Z's lawyer is coming out, and he is detesting any type of close bond and relationship with Diddy. You know, I want to know how you feel about this. Do you think that this is right, that he's kind of separating Jay-Z, from Diddy? But listen, you have to do what you have to do to clear your name. And personally, I feel like this, right? We don't know the lengths of their relationship or their friendship, right? Maybe it could have been a business thing. Maybe Diddy and them, they would go out to dinner or do certain things when it was appropriate for business. But, if they're not truly friends, I think that Jay-Z has a right to say that. And anybody who's going through the things that Diddy is going through right now, wouldn't you separate yourself from them? Wouldn't you? If your money, we ain't talking about no $25 an hour type people. We ain't talking about nothing like that. Shoot, even at that point, I think that you need to be careful about who you around. But yeah, I do think that Diddy is going to feel it. He's like, damn, you don't even know me like that? Damn. This is crazy. Potent, ponder, and never pander. I'm about to upload another video too. Record and upload another video. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about Jay-Z separating himself. Separated, we can't stand one another. I'm out. Peace.